Welcome to another episode of New Gameplay Today. I'm your host, Alex Van Aken. Thank you for tuning in to GameInformer.com and YouTube.com/GameInformer. I'm joined today by Marcus Stewart. Hello, Marcus. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing great now that I get to talk to you and Dan Tack about this here game. Dan, how are you?
Hey, what's going on? This game has souls in the title, so that's why I'm here.
What are we looking at here, guys?
This is Eldest Souls, a new game that dropped about a week ago by Fallen Flag Studios, and like Dan alluded to, this is a Souls-like.
We love that.
Twist.
With a twist. What's the twist?
Well, you know, it takes away all the fluff, and, you know, there's no fodder enemies, there's no crazy complicated exploration and finding shortcuts and bonfires, none of that crap. This is just straight up boss battles, just getting to the real core of like what makes that genre kind of what it is.
Well, I feel like you said calling shortcuts crap. I don't know if Dan's gonna like that.
Obviously, Marcus is entitled to whatever opinions he wants. You know, if they're wrong or if they're right, it doesn't matter. You know, he can think what he wants.
I was using crap as a term of like just, you know, like stuff, but I said crap. I don't mean quality-wise. Shortcuts are great.
Listen, Marcus, I'm just looking out for you here, you know, in the comments, you know. I'm here for you, my friend.
I don't have a yellow background to put an apology on, but this game, I don't have it doesn't need to apologize because it's actually quite good. So you see here, this is some gameplay of me taking on the first boss, which is this kind of a big werewolf guy. Oh, he's got a name, the Abyssal Watchdog. And I also want to note that this is actually New Game Plus, so I wanted to show off just some of the abilities that you can get in this game. So I'm fighting this guy right now, and basically, like I said, the crux of the game is that you're fighting about, I believe it's 8 bosses total in the game. And you're just kind of gradually making your way up like a tower, and you're fighting, these bosses are kind of these old gods that used to rule the world. The world's kind of just falling apart.
Sure.
Humanity's, you know, hanging on by a thread, all that happy rainbow stuff. And what I like about this game is that, you know, it has the Souls trappings of, like, you know, the combat's a little bit deliberate. You have a stamina bar that dictates how much you can dodge, but not how much you swing, which is nice. So you can swing that sword as much as you want and not have to worry about getting tired. But a big difference is that there's no healing system in the traditional sense. Like, you're not picking up health pickups or gorge or anything.
Oh,
the way you get your health back, the way you get your health back is that you do these charged sword attacks, and with every hit, you can see my sword's kind of glowing in there.
Yeah, glowing
and every
red.
time you get a hit with those, and it gives you like a portion of your health back. And I really, really like that system because, one, it kind of promotes and rewards aggression. Like, if you want to stay in the game, you got to get in there and get some licks in. And it also, for me, it did a good job of keeping kind of my sanity in check and my morale high, because I think in a lot of games, you know, if you start a fight and it goes badly very early, you're like, oh, I just used up all my health, and this guy's, you know, he's got 90% of his health left. This is a bad run.
Yeah.
But that can happen in this game, and it's like, oh, if I can get some hits in, I can pretty much just reset back to normal, and I'll have full health.
It's like a glimmer of hope,
so, like,
when you see your sword shining like that.
Yeah, and the fact that you can do it any time is like, you know, you can get health as often and as, you know, much as you're able to, as long as you're, you know, getting in there and getting those hits.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, is what the cooldown was like on that, but it sounds like it's, if you can pull the hit off, you can get it back.
Yeah, like the tricky thing is that it takes about a second to charge up, and some of these bosses are very fast paced. There's usually a lot of chaotic things happening. Like I said, this is the first guy. He's showing kind of glimpses of that, but the bosses later on get way wilder with just how much things they throw at you.
Sure.
And kind of pushes you to use your dodge and every trick you got in your bag to beat them. But yeah, like, other than that, there's really not much cost to doing the charge, which is nice because you can get wiped out very, very quickly if you're not careful. Oh yeah, like, you can get like 2 hits can put you down.
Okay. I mean, this game looks like, I love these sorts of games, especially, you know, little pixel art games, and, you know, this seems like a cool, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like, okay, another, like, you know, Souls inspired, you know, game, and it's pixel art, cool, but this health mechanic seems interesting to me, and kind of, I kind of want to check it out, because, like, what you're talking about, those battles seem like they could be really fun. But Dan, you're somebody who's actually played the game as well. What are your thoughts on this game so far?
I mean, yeah, but not nearly as much as Marcus. And yeah, it's it's definitely a trial by fire. You know, you get in there and you start learning immediately because even the first few bosses are quite deadly. Look at you in a couple shots. Marcus here is showing off the skill tree here. This is the sort of interesting system. You kill bosses, you get more points to play in different fighting styles, so you don't have to play the same way. Even though you are, correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus, you're stuck with that sword pretty much. That's it. Like everything's balanced around having the sword.
Yep, no other weapon.
Okay.
So you can go into these styles like Berserker mode, Wind mode, or Counter mode. Basically, defense, offense, and speed as your options, to put it plainly. But those you can change the basically your abilities with stones you get from bosses as well to tweak them. Which creates, you've got some interesting dynamics to mess around with. Like if one strategy isn't working, you can try something else.
Yeah, because you can only pick one style at a time, but the game allows you to respec all your skills anytime you want with no cost. And this is the first game that ever pushed me to respec. I never respec in RPGs ever. A lot of that is a combination of stubborn and lazy. Like,
sure.
I don't want to put all these points back in that I got 50 of these over like a dozen hours. But this game, I started with the wind style and I beat the first few bosses, and then I hit a wall with one particular boss, and I just kept throwing myself at it over and over, and I was getting close, and then realized like, oh, I think I'm gonna try maybe like Berserker style, see how that goes. And like, each one, they're each fun, and it's not like each boss is weak to a particular style. It kind of just depends on what your personal play style, what suits you more. Like by the end of the game, I found that the counter style was working the best for how I like to play games. But yeah, like I would encourage everyone to like, don't feel shy about respecting and changing up your style, because it can make a big difference in, how long it takes you to beat a boss.
Yeah, sure. And I see this giant sword that we have. Are there other weapons that you unlock throughout the game, or do you kind of just, this is your tried and true method for fighting?
Nope, just that big sword, which I am okay with. It's purposely slow and deliberate the way giant broadsword is. You can see he's basically dragging it.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get used to, just because personally I'm not a fan of slower weapons in games. I'm more of a faster paced guy. And even then I think that something about the button feel when you attack, there's a little bit of a delay, or like a mushiness. It's so hard sometimes to describe button feel because it's such an abstract thing, but there's like a mushiness to it, and I wish it was a little bit tighter. It's not like a horrible deal breaker or anything like that, but it was something that did bug me during the first like 3 bosses until I got used to it, and then also got new abilities to kind of make up for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Get the bosses pretty quickly. They're in between bosses. You can do some exploring. There's some NPCs you can talk to, and they present sort of kind of fetch questy style side quests, like, hey, bring me this item, or like pretty much just that. And you don't have to engage with that. Like, you can just go from boss to boss to boss and just beat the game. But you do get some helpful items if you do decide to help people out. It's just more about keeping your eye in the environment, explore thoroughly, because some collectibles are very easy to miss.
Okay.
And it's just, it's nothing crazy, but it's something to do in between going from like the next big boss battle. It could be
but it's pretty clear this is a boss rush game, and like, speedrunners are gonna have a blast with this, right? Like, this is it's designed for boss after boss after boss, just flow with it, right?
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure about that at first. That's cool. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make that very clear.
Yeah, I beat this game in 13 hours, so I think I set the record right now for speedrunning.
You did. Well done.
Thank you.
And how many?
So,
are we allowed to talk about how many bosses are in the game? Is that a spoiler, or do we know generally how many?
Marcus, just tell us how many bosses there are in the game. Come on.
I believe there are 8, I want to say, and I only say that because when you beat a boss, you get a shard that you can equip, and it gives you like different powers, and there's 8 slots for those.
Okay.
So, yes. 8. Or, yeah, sounds about right.
That's a good number, especially since, they have different abilities and stuff in New Game Plus, which we're in right now, right?
Yeah.
And you obviously have a bunch of new stuff too. Like, I don't have that little blue ball, that cute little blue ball you have. I don't know what the hell does that do.
Yeah, right now I'm in the counter stance. What that does is that you see the little shield there on the HUD there. Every time I attack, it fills up, and then when it's full, I can do a counter parry if I time it right, and it does this really powerful slash attack. Those little swords there spawn too when I get 3 of those. Depending on what skill you pick, the one I have is that when they break on enemies, it refills my health a bit.
Yeah.
It's a lot
got
of
that.
defensive focused stuff that I have right now.
I'm talking about the blue ball that's following you around. The little like Star Wars looking droid thing. That
Oh yeah.
I have no idea what that is. I know what the shield thing is.
Dan, I won't lie. I don't remember what that thing does.
Okay. All right.
I remember him hanging around. I know it builds up every time you do a perfect dodge, and it changes shape, and I believe it buffs you in some way. But
It
I
looked like
cannot
it looked like it just gave you a
specifically.
little shield buff or something.
I love it.
Yeah, and you see I have another thing where every time I hit a charge attack, it makes a little circle, and it's like a little healing defense circle if I stay within it. So,
Hey, this game looks
Yeah,
fun, man.
that-
Where is it? Like, what platforms can we play it on?
well, Alex, it's on everything.
Oh.
PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Switch, PC. If it plays video games, you can play Eldest Souls pretty much.
That sounds great. I can't wait to boot this up on my N64. Should be a good time.
There you go.
Neo Geo, baby. I'm loading it up right now.
Thanks so much for taking the time out of your week to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and as always, head over to GameInformer.com for the latest news, previews, reviews, and features of your favorite upcoming and past games.